on this program are not necessarily those of CBS Radio, its sponsors, or affiliates.
Good morning. Welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. I'm your host, Harvey Freed. There's Alex Nafusi.
Hey, buddy. What's up, man?
Hey, good morning, Alex. What's going on?
Trying to log into the computer.
Not too bad.
I'm struggling. Great mortgage guy, bad computer guy.
Up. Hey.
Pretty groovy day out there, 9:02 this morning. It is the Hardcore Mortgage Show, again, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. We give you 1 hour's worth of the mortgage talk, real estate talk. We brought in some great stuff today.
Dan Leach is the most excited guy in the entire
That was
world.
awesome. That was so funny.
Unbelievable.
Dan Leach is coming here trying to make out with Nicole. You're married now, Nicole, please. Nicole Moscow, or Nicole Page now, better known as
Right.
our RE/MAX realtor out of Milford. Good morning.
Good morning.
What's going on? You going to be okay over there?
Leach threw her off.
We bring in Mike, how do you pronounce that last name?
Semazar.
Semazar, Mike Semazar from Semazar Home Inspections. Thanks for joining us. Mike came all the way from Ann Arbor.
Correct. Actually, a Fenton area.
Oh, the Fenton area. Not too bad of a ride in here. We got tons of information if you're going to be buying a house. Mike has great information if you're out there. And of course, the home inspections, one of the things about home inspections is you have to get it done. And we're going to be talking about home inspections this morning, purchasing a house, refinancing. Of course, Alex, mortgage rates remain low after some serious things went on, the swings really over the past week or two. First, we had the FOMC meeting. They looked like they were going to raise rates. They didn't do anything, and then a little bit of craziness over this week.
I was playing golf the other day with a guy who's building a house, and he's talking about. He's like, I'm just really holding out. I'm at 3.99 right now, and I'm really hoping for 3 7/8. I'm not ready to lock in yet. And I'm like, dude, the odds of rates going down a quarter point versus going up a quarter point, they're slim to none. They're not going down.
Right.
And you're holding out. The odds of getting up tomorrow on Monday morning and having the bond market tank and getting a 4.5 are way better than you getting 3 7/8.
Exactly.
I mean, what do you're $30 a month? If you're building a house for $400,000, $500,000, and $30 a month makes or breaks you for 1/8 of a point, you're building too big of a house.
It's ridiculous.
Absolutely.
I mean, 49-year mortgage lows. I mean, we don't call it 50 anymore. We'll say the rates are 49-year lows. We haven't seen rates this low literally in 50 years. The big jobs report came in significantly weaker than expected. But, of course, the bond market began losing some ground by yesterday afternoon. Lo and behold, rates are still unbelievable. Some swings between about an 1/8%, really on Thursday and Friday. It started off like it looked like maybe things could drop a little bit more. But again, the key is if you were already in process and the rate dropped down, you could lock yourself in maybe for 30 days and then wrap up the transaction in a timely fashion. That's one of the things too, Alex. People talk about rate. Your rate today you might not get because you need to close. And of course, today starts a new world in the mortgage world. The whole TRID thing comes out today. It's released October 3rd. Everyone has to follow the new rules. And one of the things, Nicole, that you went to some training on, they automatically, National Association of Realtors said, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Real Estate Agent, write 45-day minimum on purchase
Absolutely.
agreements.
Minimum.
Minimum.
Yep.
Now, it doesn't mean that we're not going to strive to close transactions in 30
Right,
days or
because
less.
everybody
and they
wants
can.
to close sooner if possible.
We can always get them done that
Right.
quick. That's never a problem.
Right.
So, all right, we're going to be taking your phone calls all day long. And, of course, at Capital Mortgage, here live in the studio, 248-539-9797. Always at Capital Mortgage at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. I know we've got a full staff all weekend long, and you better get that approval letter in hand. And a real approval letter is probably a little bit different than what some of you folks are walking around with. We know that, Alex, because we still get the calls throughout the week from families that have said they were going to get a mortgage and then it all blew up at the end. And now they're calling us to say, what can you do to help us? And again, folks, make some better calls up front. Check it out. Get some more professional people behind
It should
you.
never blow up at the end. I mean, if you're supposed to close on X day on Friday, and all of a sudden you get a call Tuesday that your loan's denied, your loan was never approved in the first place.
Absolutely,
never
I
approved.
agree.
Things don't blow up. I mean, I guess I take that.
I mean,
back.
there are exceptions
if you
like
lose
non-warrantable condos.
Well, you
should have known that
You
up
should know
front.
that ahead of
Yeah.
time. How do you not know that ahead of time as a realtor?
Because the realtors don't get a copy. Actually, I got a whole section on that. We're going to pick on you a little bit,
that's
Nicole.
good.
Oh, you
This'll
don't?
be
You want to
fun.
defend yourself?
Nope, I'm not
you should know
defending
that ahead of time. I mean, that's and Nicole, not you, but as a real estate agent, if you should know the property type.
I
if it's a
agree with
you.
condo, I mean,
Nope, I agree.
You know what? Sometimes it's not even the selling agents. The listing agent if you don't
you should be
understand what it
fired then
is,
as a listing agent.
how about learn what it is and find
I
out
agree.
up front?
agree
If you're
100%.
listing my condo for $400,000, you didn't know that it's. And just in a nutshell, a non-warrantable condo for our listeners means the association has been established. There's one particular individual owns more than 10% of the units.
Right, or they're not completely.
They've
completed all the phases, yes.
There's it's just a lot of BS from an internal financing standpoint. But those are things that your agent has to know.
You know, the key is truthfully, if you're going to sell your house and you have a condominium, then get a copy of your master deed and hand it
give it
over
to
to the
the
agents.
agent.
Yeah, and share it with everybody.
100% agree.
It's not a secret.
Right.
But truly, those master deeds are.
And the bylaws, because when someone's purchasing your condo, they're going to want to see the bylaws regardless.
They want to know how many pets they can have. How many
Absolutely.
can they bring
Can
their
they bring
RV
their
in the
truck,
parking
right.
and drive it in there and let it sit
Well, I
there
got a
all
buddy
winter?
living out of an RV right now.
You what?
I have a buddy living out of his RV right now.
Where's that at? Where's he
Can't tell
parking
you.
at?
I can't say his name.
A secret
Good guy,
location.
though, man. He's a good dude.
It's a secret.
He'll be fine. He's living in a van down by the river.
All right, tons of benefits, of course. If you want to
That's
become a homeowner, is buying a house a great investment? I think so. Many families
Absolutely.
do. Well, all the information out there is telling us that rents have gone through the roof. We continuously see that. We're going to be talking all about that. Are you ready for home ownership? And again, have you checked out all the things you need to do? But Mike, not wait any longer. Let's just bring you into the mix here.
Right.
It's always a lot of fun to have other professionals in the industry sort of talk about what they do. And I kept getting a lot of things from you over the last couple of weeks when we talked about home inspections. And I like what you said. You said one of the things that Harry always says is stay in your lane, do your job, and do what you're hired to do and get it done the right way.
Oh, that's correct. As a home inspector, you have a place, and you stay in that place. Let the agent do his or her job. Let everyone else do their job, and you do yours.
It's always fun. Now, what do you charge roughly for home inspections? Give everyone just a good beginning of what a home inspection is, what to expect out of a home inspector, the cost, and when they show up to the house, what are they there for?
Average price is about $250 to $300. What I like when they show up, I'm there to educate them. That is my main goal as a home inspector.
That's a great
Educate.
description, Mike.
So people are aware of what they're buying.
I mean, of course, you can't see underground. We talked about all these different things. You offer, obviously visual home inspections above ground, and then all the other tests that are involved, including well and septic. You hire out with the group of people that you work with, the well and septic reports. Your son, I know, is an expert in the radon testing, so you're able to give that
Correct.
type of inspection. And then these sewer line inspections are very important too. And I know that you're hooked up with a couple places where they'll run the camera line down there, and that is probably becoming the most important thing here in Southeast Michigan.
That's very important, especially the age of the house. We need to see what's underground. You've got a lot of these old houses just outside the Detroit area that have the trees planted near them, the roots get involved. And when I'm there and I run the water, it may work wonderful that day, but come another time, it might not.
Yeah, they flush the toilet, or the water comes backing up in the sewer lines in your basement or somewhere. It's always somewhere. It shows up somewhere eventually.
That's correct. What people have to remember, the home inspector can only see on that particular day. That's it. No crystal ball in front of me.
You follow these ASHI standards. What is that ASHI? I see it written on a lot of the inspectors' cards. What is all that?
Yeah, that's the American Society of Home Inspectors. Let me warn people, if someone's out there not inspecting to standards, that's dangerous.
Okay.
Again, it's like a big puzzle. You're one piece. Be that piece and that piece only.
All right, so we're going to take some calls all morning long, 248-539-9797. We got a real inspector on here. Things that, we'll talk a little bit later in the show about things that he keeps finding. Mike, I know you're out of the Ann Arbor area, but you work generally the whole lower part of the state, basically.
Pretty
I
much.
drag them all over Michigan.
About 7 or 8 counties. So
Yeah, I think Nicole once had me go to Alaska. I don't remember. No, I'll go wherever I'm needed.
I was at last week's show, or the one before that, Alex, and when we started talking about home inspections, and a gentleman said, hey, look, I don't even make an offer. A guy came out, hey, I don't even make an offer unless I did a home inspection.
That was last week.
But why
that last week's
would
show?
that be when you have a contingency in your purchase
Exactly.
agreement on the home inspection?
I think he was saying the
you
same
would-
thing.
Because you would want to put your purchase agreement in first, get it accepted, have it contingent on the inspection, so you could pretty much tie up the house to
I think
purchase it.
I think he just had a
Okay.
bad experience with one of his previous transactions.
Okay.
That's what it
I mean,
was. I think
that
he
does-
did, he said his wife loved the house, and they did an inspection, and it didn't pass, and they didn't get the house.
Okay.
I mean,
that does happen though.
Yeah.
And another thing is passed to what? I mean, it's all depends on the person purchasing the house, how much they want to pay in repairs or updates or things like that, because there can be minor things wrong with the house. There can be major. I mean, we've had mold issues where the people have still went through with the transaction.
Right,
We've
you
had
can
the
remove it.
sellers remediate the mold. We've had sellers refuse to, and we've still had buyers go through with the transaction. So it all depends on the buyer.
Most things can be fixed in a house.
Absolutely.
I can promise you we're going to find a list of little things. That's not what we're worried about. It's the big issues.
Right, the things that are going to come out of your pocket, especially after you close. And for many of our buyers that are getting in with 3 or 5% down, or even the FHA or VA buyers, they don't have a whole lot of money to work with after they close. Right. All right, we got tons to share with you. Enjoy the day. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket. We'll be right back.
How do you pregame on football Sunday? Well, after a nationwide search, B-Dubs is proud to announce the Bloody Hail Mary, a bold cocktail with the perfect amount of spice. And it won't just wake you up, it'll keep you going. Buffalo Wild Wings, Wings Beer Sports. Drink responsibly.
Hi, Harry Glanz for Capital Mortgage Funding. Rates are at historic lows, and they're not going down to zero. So what are you waiting for? Call 1-800-LOW-RATE and let our award-winning staff help you save money. If you're looking to purchase a new home, refinance your existing home, and you want to save money, call 1-800-LOW-RATE and take advantage of these historic low rates. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. What are you waiting for? Call 1-800-LOW-RATE. Capital Mortgage Funding is powered by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, NMLS ID number 2289, Equal Housing Lender.
We're giving away 2 Camaros Town and $100,000 Cash Town. Creektown Casino Hotel in our $150,000 Camaros and Cash giveaway. Earn entries October 1st through the 23rd and 10 times on Saturdays. Friday evenings, you could drive off in a shiny new Chevy Camaro or walk out with $5,000 cash. Creektown Casino Hotel in the middle of everywhere town. Must be at least 21 to gamble. Visit GT Rewards for details.
The following is the testimony of a real Nutrimost patient. Individual results may vary.
Just last year, I weighed over 350 pounds. I had to lose the weight or I would have been at serious risk for diabetes, heart disease, even cancer. I had tried everything to lose weight, or thought I had, until I started Nutrimost. I lost over 140 pounds in just 7 months on the Nutrimost system, without starving myself or even setting foot in a gym. I was skeptical at first, but the first few times I stepped on the scale, Nutrimost made me a believer. The average Nutrimost patient loses 40 pounds in 40 days, but I never could have dreamed of results like this. I'm Jerry Wesselman from Trenton, Michigan. I lost 140 pounds, and this is my Nutrimost story.
Call 1-800-IDEAL-U right now for your free Nutrimost information kit and a full body evaluation at our locations in Novi, St. Clair Shores, or Riverview. If you want to lose weight and feel great, call 1-800-IDEAL-U right now. That's 1-800-IDEAL-U.
If your credit card debt is out of control, if you're in over your head dealing with monthly payments, there's a powerful secret the credit card companies don't want you to know. If you have more than $5,000 in credit card debt, you have the right to settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. That's bad news for credit card companies, but it's great news for you. We're NetDebt, and we're offering you free information on how to get debt-free faster than you ever thought possible and make your monthly payment affordable. To see how much you could save, call now, 1-800-774-3122. Don't declare bankruptcy. Give us 10 minutes and we could save you thousands. We depend on your success and offer a guarantee, so there's no risk. NetDebt. Live better debt-free. Find out how easy it is by calling now. For the secret the credit card companies don't want you to know, call NetDebt now and see how much money you could save for free. Call 1-800-774-3122. That's 1-800-774-3122.
They say life is about choices. So let me introduce you to one of the best choices you can make in life. Grainger Choice. The Grainger Choice product line has just about everything we need to keep this place running. From batteries to V-belts, safety to sump pumps. And with Grainger Choice, we can trust that every product is dependable and cost-effective. When it comes to making life choices, here's a great one. Grainger Choice. Get it? Got it? Good. Call, click Grainger.com/choice or stop by. Grainger. For the ones who get it done.
Temperatures are falling. So is the price of Owens Corning R30 unfaced insulation at the Home Depot, where 25-foot rolls are at a new lower price of just $15.58. So let's add an extra blanket to your attic, then curl up with a nice warm book this winter and a nice lower heating bill. They're both great reads. Let's do this. Take on fall with Owens Corning R30 insulation, now just $15.58 a roll at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. While supplies last, U.S. only, valid through October 23rd.
Don't have time to talk? Send us a text instead. The Galliana's Van Dyke Dodge ticket text at 97136. Don't overpay. Get into Galliana's Van Dyke Dodge today.
CBS Monday on a new Big Bang Theory.
Unhand me!
Sheldon kidnapped?
I told you to put tape on his mouth. I told you he bit me.
Find out why on a new Big Bang CBS Monday.
Lions, Seahawks. Kickoff is Monday night at 8:30 on Lions Radio.
97.1 The Ticket.
All right, welcome back to the show. 916, the Hardcore Mortgage Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. Call us all day long, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage bank. That's 1-800-569-7283. Also, you can always shoot us those emails to mortgage.show@lowrateonline.com. We got our first call to get to. We've got Greg on the line from Commerce. Good morning, Greg. Welcome to our show.
Hey, Greg.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, how are you?
What's up, man?
Good. I have a question about in the future, next 3 or 4 years, I'm probably going to be selling my home. And I purchased my home about 28 years ago. And we did have it inspected before we purchased it. But what was never brought up was I'm in the Commerce area, so I have a crawl space. So the sump pump, the well is there, but there was never a sump pump installed. And to my knowledge, looking down there was never any plumbing that would even, eject any water that would come out of the house, or if there was a potential for water. So, A, what was the builder's mindset of never completing it? And B, home inspection never brought it to my attention then. So if you were going to come in and inspect my home and say, hey, listen, there's no sump pump down there, what would be, I suppose, what do I do?
Well, first thing I look for is there any evidence of water?
No, and that's, never, ever, ever. And that's just my word, but never.
That's the reason you don't have a sub pump. There's houses in certain areas that just don't require them. So you should consider yourself very lucky.
Yeah, especially.
Yeah, there's a lot of houses out there, Greg, that don't have sub pumps. It's not abnormal to see a house without a sub pump. And I don't think
everyone on my street has one, and 2 houses away. Again, I sit a little higher on the street, no question about that. But two houses away, the individual has a lot of water and had some pumps fail and all kinds of
stuff. You got to remember,
so,
a water table may be underneath their house, and it may just be missing you. So again, you're lucky.
Very lucky.
So if you came as a home inspector, you would say, well, there's a sump pump well down there, but there's no need for one. Would that be something you could assess by looking at it and saying comfortably that one isn't needed?
Well, I can never guess the future, but what I look for is evidence of water. And if it's there, then perhaps, yes, you could need one.
And the buyers are also going to look at your disclosures and see if there's been evidence of water, because you would have to fill those out prior to listing the house.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you're there's nothing wrong with being honest. You write on the seller's disclosure, we've never had any problems with the water
right,
situation.
And it's going to ask you on the disclosures if there's a sub pump, and you're going to hit no. So they're going to know before they even do the inspection.
Okay, I appreciate it, guys.
Hey, Mike,
thank you.
Thanks, Greg. Appreciate that. Hey, Mike, let's throw this out there. I wrote down a few things here. I know you did some teaching and educating some of the inspectors that are out there.
Correct.
What type of like classes are out there available? Is there, to get your license and
really,
such?
There's not a lot. Not a lot. And one of the things that led me into it is home inspectors, basically anyone could do it. And that's not always safe. Just because Uncle Bob built a house 15 years ago doesn't mean he's qualified for a home inspection. I mean, you've got Nicole here. She might have showed somebody 50 houses, and Uncle Bob comes out and does a terrible inspection, and the deal's off when it shouldn't be.
Right.
And then Nicole's real happy.
Oh, yeah. It makes me very happy.
Well, it's always nice to get a referral.
You know what? I would rather, though, I like someone who's very professional doing my inspections, because I want it to be accurate. And if that means that person, I've showed them 50 houses, but that house isn't going to work for them because there's so many issues, I'd rather it be that and show them 60 houses and have the house that's right.
You've never shown anyone 60 houses.
Oh, you want to bet?
Really?
Really?
What do you mean? Your realtor did a few years ago, didn't they?
You
saw about that many.
That was my ex-wife's problem.
That's
I showed houses for 2 years to one person.
I like 59 to the 60.
Oh, you did? Right.
I'm like, this is fine.
You're like, that house is great.
Can we just stop wasting our weekends?
2 years for
actually
one
had
client,
agents pull me aside and say, Mike, this house is not for them. I know it's not. Tear it apart. I'd love to see them get something else.
Really?
Oh, yeah. There's
All right, well, you didn't do anything
I've said
more.
that. I've told that story before. A good agent will call you off, and Dan Dubensky and Jess Taylor at Skyward Real Estate, which is basically my version of Nicole for Harvey and all that. But well, maybe not quite like that, you guys. But they've called me off numerous times, and I'm like, dude, I love this house, and they've been like, Alex, this house sucks.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, and dude, we're not talking cheap houses. I mean, we're telling these guys are basically taking money out of their pockets by not selling me a house. They're like, Alex, this house. You're one of my best buddies, man. This house is terrible, and a good agent needs that. Like, listen,
That's exactly when you hit that
prof-
door, you know.
When you hire professionals,
Yes.
if I hire Mike, and I don't know if you've heard the show before, I'm the least handy guy on the planet. I mean, it's emasculating. It's that bad.
Right.
If I have Mike there, he's there for a reason because I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
I'm there to protect you.
Absolutely.
I've got to say this. There is a huge misconception where sometimes people won't use me because they think I am going to mask the problems for the agent, so he or she gets their deal to fall through. That is not true with me, and that is not true with any of the home inspectors I know.
I think
most of us are honest guys.
You made a really good point earlier in the show that you said you're there to educate buyers.
Correct.
Like, hey, here's what you need to do to, whatever.
He does
Clean
a
your
lot
gutters,
of
keep water away from the house.
absolutely. So he
things
gets a
like
lot
that.
of
All right, great news out there. Hey,
Yeah,
we
good
want to
one.
hear from you guys. 248-539-9797. We have some open lines. Now we'll get to some of these calls. Hey, do you guys know the great news continues out there? These neighborhoods are becoming very strong. The new data out there shows that 93.8% of all mortgages are performing. People, your neighbors now that are moving in are qualifying based on today's Fannie Mae Freddie Mac standards. These are not stated income transactions. We're building stronger communities in the area. And Jim from New Boston, you're one of our callers, and you've got something going on. What's up, Jim?
Good morning, guys.
Morning,
I got a doozy for you. Let's make a long story short. I signed a purchase agreement for a new construction in March of this year with the completion date due to be at the end of October, possibly the middle of November. So about that time, we about a month later, we put our home that was currently for sale, and we sold it in about 14 days. And then about a month and a half later, I get served with papers, that we were being sued for failure to disclose. I guess there was some kind of issue with mold in the house that was inside the wall that nobody could ever see. No inspector saw, no FHA inspector saw. But due to that, we've had a very hard time trying to come up with financing for our home. We were going to do a 5% conventional. We had everything going through, and then as it hits underwriting, that lawsuit's stopping us from moving forward. I don't have any idea what my options are going to be, but I'm kind of stuck with a $202,000 house and no way to pay for it.
All right, a couple questions. Hang on, just bear with me for a second. You were right. That's a doozy. Did you close on the house or no?
The one you sold.
the one you had listed. Did they move in?
Yes, that house was closed on back in June. The lawsuit wasn't filed until like a month and a half after the house was closed.
So they sued you because they found mold in the walls, correct?
They found mold. At least that's what they're telling me. That's what I'm reading in my lawsuit.
Did you know it was there?
I absolutely knew it, or did not know it was there. I had no idea. I would never have my family living in a house that had black mold in it.
Those are here. Hang on, Harper, a second. When you sign a seller's disclosure, whether it asks about water in the basement or does the roof leak, and I've been doing this for 15 years. Those are very, very, very difficult to prove when someone sues you if they're saying you didn't know. So what? So they sue
and
you.
my lawyer says the same thing. The only problem is that doesn't matter to any of these lenders. When they get to that part, it throws a red flag into underwriting all the time.
How do the lenders know about the lawsuit? Because when you guys signed the purchase agreement too, did you sign to arbitrate first? Because
there's an arbitration clause in the purchase agreement, but that hasn't been brought up yet. So my lawyer,
they're describing
my lawyer seems to think that this is probably the most frivolous thing he's ever come across.
Well, yeah, because it's a latent defect that you can't see. So how would you disclose it?
I don't know why you can't close on a new house.
Maybe how the mold got there.
Well,
from water.
I have no idea. See, I'm not privy to any of this information because now we're going through the 6-month discovery period coming up. And the only reason my lawyer hasn't filed for a motion to dismiss is because he knows the judge will want us to go through discovery first before they'll dismiss.
What are you discovering? What are you discovering now? You already found them. Time out. What are you discovering? You already found them.
No, that's the lawyer, the law terms.
I know. But that's what discovery is, though.
Did they have a home inspection?
They had a home inspection, which I also have. It's just that is the sticking point is the lawsuit, because the lawsuit is exceeding $25,000, and they don't want to assume the risk.
I don't know.
Here's the thing, Jim. They're finding out about the lawsuit, and I wish my sister Lauren, the attorney on the Supreme Court, would call me, and answer this question for us, because none of us are attorneys. But here's the thing. There's on the application, there's a box you have to check. Are you party to a lawsuit right now? Are you being sued? Are you suing somebody? So they're going to know. You have to disclose it up front to any lender. I don't know.
Yes.
And again, I've never had
that hold up a transaction.
I don't know why that would hold up a transaction. I could be completely wrong.
I don't know why I would either. Let's be frank here. We have plenty of reserve. We have plenty of assets. It's just they will not do that 5% or 3.5% FHA. Neither one of them will clear because of that lawsuit.
First of all, let me do this. Jim, let me call after the show. I'm going to email my underwriting department right now and just ask them flat out. If I have a client that's being sued based on a seller's disclosure, some ridiculous thing, some frivolous lawsuit, can he still get a mortgage? And I'll be able to tell you on Monday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great call, Jim. You might be one of our clients. Thank you. All right. That was a long call, but good stuff. 248-539-9797. That music says we'll be right back after the break.
Check out the grand opening sale at the new Warren Menards Megastore. With the best selection in home improvement and appliances, Menards is your home improvement store. Stop in for great deals, free gifts, how-to clinics, plus much more. While you're shopping, register for your chance to win great prizes with over $7,000 in prizes. Don't miss the grand opening sale at the new Warren Menards Megastore, located north of I-696 on Van Dyke Avenue.
Save big money at Menards.
Dunkin' Donuts Foodie Blog, entry 29. Reporting back on Dunkin's Pumpkin Craze. Their new handcrafted pumpkin macchiato is layered with steamed milk, pumpkin-flavored swirl, and a double shot of espresso. Pair it with the new pumpkin cheesecake square, and you've got pumpkin perfection.
Enjoy pumpkin season at Dunkin' with your favorite pumpkin-flavored beverages and baked treats. America runs on Dunkin'. Price participation may vary. Limited time offer.
Stop by Dunkin' Donuts and get a freshly brewed coffee. America runs on Dunkin'.
Do you use a CPAP device for sleep apnea? Are you tired of dragging your bulky in-home device everywhere you travel? Then you need to know about Transcend, the world's first portable mini CPAP device. It lets you sleep in total comfort anywhere you go. And right now, you can try it risk-free for 10 days by calling 1-800-500-6720. Transcend from minicpap.com is as small as a soda can and weighs less than a pound. For even more freedom, you can add a battery that's as tiny as a deck of cards. Transcend is so small and so light, you can fit it in your briefcase or purse to use anywhere you go. It's FAA compliant too, so you can sleep comfortably even while flying. Transcend is our smallest, lightest, and most portable mini CPAP design ever, offering all the performance of a bulky standard in-home device. Enjoy the freedom to sleep comfortably. Call minicpap.com now for your 10-day in-home trial. 1-800-500-6720. Again, that's 1-800-500-6720.
Helmet? Check. Knee pads? Check. Shoulder pads? Check. Heart? Check.
For student athletes, being ready for the game means more than just the right equipment to practice. It means making sure their heart is healthy enough for sports. 97 Won the Ticket Student Heart Check Program partners with Beaumont Health System, so students can be screened for heart problems that aren't included in a regular physical. Make a donation and you'll help support free screenings for students who can't afford it. Donate today at cbsdetroit.com/student heart check.
If you've been waiting for football season to check out FanDuel's 1 week fantasy leagues, then get ready, because this year we're giving you way more reasons to play. 2 billion more. Because that's how much money FanDuel's paying out this year. $2 billion. More money to more winners than any other site. How do you get your share of $2 billion? Simple. Go now to FanDuel.com for your free account. Pick your team of the week, just stay under the salary cap, and collect your winnings after Monday's game. It's that easy. No season-long commitment. You only play when you want. And get this, leagues start at just $1. That's right. We have leagues for every fan. The rookie, the expert, and the first-timers. Try FanDuel today. And for just one more week, FanDuel is giving you their best offer of the season season. A 200% bonus on your first deposit that gets earned as you play. That's right, a 200% deposit bonus. Up to $200. This limited time offer expires this Friday. Go to FanDuel.com, click the microphone, and enter the promo code 9191. That's FanDuel.com. Promo code 9191.
Why pursue the adult degree program at Northwood University? Because you believe in bettering yourself. With flexible hours, convenient location, and online courses, we've designed a business degree around the way you live today, so you can get where you need to be tomorrow. Northwood University lives and breathes entrepreneurship. The opportunity is here and is well within reach. Own your future. Visit northwood.edu/adults.
To be a playoff team, you must have a reliable lineup day in and day out, just like Jack Demmer Lincoln in Dearborn. Discover the Demmer difference. Tune into this week's Detroit football game on 97.1 The Ticket, brought to you by Jack Demmer Lincoln in Dearborn.
You can try to kick a field goal at Ford Field. Just first get screened for the health issues that affect men the most. I'm Dr. Michael Lutz. The MIU Men's Health Foundation's Men's Health event is Saturday, October 3rd at Ford Field. For more information, visit themenshealthevent.com.
Sports news all day, every day. This is 97.1 The Ticket.
Selling team, Michigan football today on AM 950 WWJ. They'll kick it off at 12 noon. Number 22, Michigan entertaining Maryland. Meanwhile, in East Lansing, Michigan State, who scored 30 points for a school record 12 consecutive games. They're number 2 in the land. They host Purdue for a 12 noon kickoff. The Spartans, a perfect 4-0 so far. Preseason hockey at the Joe last night. Red Wings 4-2 over the Leafs. Henrik Zetterberg breaks the tie in the third period, spoiling Mike Babcock's return to Detroit. Two teams open the season at the Joe next Friday night. Tigers fall to the White Sox 2-1 despite good pitching from Alfredo Sanin, who gave up 2 runs in 5 hits in 8 innings. Justin Verlander tonight, right here at 97.1 The Ticket. Our broadcast begins at 6:30. For the 1-800-CALL SAM studios, I'm Jeff Lesson. For more, 97.1theticket.com.
On your radio and streaming worldwide, we show the world what Detroiters are made of.
97.1 The Ticket.
Alrighty, welcome to our show. It's 9:33. You've got tuned to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. Give us a call. We got people in the office all day long at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. That's 1-800-569-7283. Of course, we take all your calls here live in the studio at 248-539-9797. We brought in Mike Semazar from Semazar's Home Inspections. Mike, just to get you going here and get it all warmed up, people love having to talk to home inspections because everyone's got something going on with the house.
I'm ready. Let's talk.
Good. We live in Michigan. I mean, the weather changes. These homes expand and they contract and with concrete cracks and there's problems because of actually where we're located.
Right. That's one guarantee about concrete. It cracks.
Concrete and other things too. Things go wrong.
I had a house that had cracked concrete before we even moved in. We had it built.
That's standard.
It happens. Cracks are somewhat normal. If there is an issue, then we need to bring out a structural engineer and evaluate that further. But don't panic over a few little cracks, folks.
That's good to know.
They're going to be there.
They're definitely going to be there. All right, hey, let's move on. We got some calls here. We got Deborah. A lot of home inspection stuff. Here we go, Deb from New Baltimore. What's going on? Hey, Deb, you there?
What's up?
Home.
Oh.
Recently. It was never disclosed to me that there's water in the crawl space.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know if I did have it inspected. Inspector never said anything about it. Probably about 3 months later, it kind of flooded.
What do you mean it kind of
And
flooded?
I don't know if I can go after the sellers for not disclosing it to me or the inspector for not noticing that or I don't know. I need some input or some help here.
When did you have it inspected? What month?
I'm sorry?
What month or time of year did you have it inspected?
In August.
Okay. That is a very dry time of year. There's a good chance that there was no evidence there that the home inspector could see.
Did they go in the crawl space? Were you there?
He did go in the crawl space. I have a really low crawl space. It's like an army crawl. You have to be literally on your stomach. And he was a bigger guy. And he did admit that he did not go all the way through it.
That's another. You see that, Mike? We need to hire skinny home inspectors to crawl in those really tiny crawl spaces.
I'm in trouble, then.
Maybe I should.
You might squeeze in there.
I might not get back out.
Hey, look, Deb, is this a problem that it was nothing was on the seller's disclosure form for you?
Yeah, nothing was on the seller's disclosure at all.
What happens?
Wait, time out. How would a seller know if there's water in their crawl space?
Unless I go down
Unless
there
they're
and look.
going through their crawl space. Why are you going in your crawl
sellers
space?
don't know if
Doesn't
there's
matter.
mold in the attic
Yeah.
unless they go up there.
Exactly.
Or behind the walls.
Well, to me, there might be evidence because my son has gone in the crawl space, and on some of the joists, it's like he has sistered up some new wood. And we're thinking that might be a sign that he knew something was wrong, possibly.
Yeah, Deb, it's like we said before. I mean, it's very, very difficult to prove that somebody knew there was a pre-existing condition, in their home. I mean, quite frankly, you can sue anybody for anything you want.
There you go.
I mean,
Absolutely.
Mark Zuckerberg's getting sued by his builder because when he built this house, allegedly Zuckerberg promised to introduce his builder to his high-powered friends in Silicon Valley, and he never did.
Okay, so the builder's mad. I saw
the
it.
builder's mad he didn't get to meet people that have billions of dollars, and he's suing Zuckerberg for that.
Wow.
So, I mean, you can sue anybody for anything you want. The problem is, it's not really a problem, and Mike, jump in, correct me if I'm wrong, most inspectors, they're in an LLC, a limited liability corporation, so
correct.
there's not a lot you can go after.
You're correct.
Okay.
I mean, generally, all you can go after is the price of the home inspection.
Exactly.
And I can tell you that most of these inspectors, or all of them that I know, do their utmost best. They really try.
I mean, look, a home inspection, Mike, it's not $1,500 even. I mean, it's
Correct.
not.
No.
It's $300 to bring a professional, license or not licensed, but someone who's gone through certified, who meets these standards, to bring an extra set of eyes there. Other things people can do, Nicole. Deb, it's a great call. We'll follow up with you after. Maybe we'll send you an attorney.
Wait, I just got one other
what's up?
thing.
Okay.
I did have a structural engineer come out and inspect it, and he did a hell of a job. So I
Good.
wish I would have known him first before I had my original inspector.
Well,
out
what you
there.
got to remember about home inspectors, they're not the jack of all trades. A home inspector's job is just to identify the problem, and if a problem's identified, then it's our job to refer it to a licensed contractor. Because if this home inspector were licensed in everything, that's an awful lot.
Yeah, well,
Then they probably wouldn't really know everything.
no one's going to know everything about it.
You're right.
Yeah, we'll follow up with you after. Where I was going with the point was, look, it's an extra set of eyes.
That's
It's
right.
someone who has a lot of knowledge, who's done a lot of home inspections, that can point out a lot of things that you can go back to the seller and say, look, we've got these serious issues, or we've got a whole bunch of minor issues, and negotiate just a little bit.
Absolutely.
Nicole, a lot of times it's GFI plugs, it's a downspout
Right.
connection.
Little
It's
things.
clean out
Little
the. Hey,
things.
look,
Clean
I
out
love
the
the house.
gutters.
Everything's great. My inspector
Right.
said your gutters are full of leaves, or if not, they're going to be.
Absolutely.
They're going to be in
Absolutely.
another 3 weeks.
Exactly.
So, I mean, that's really where we're going with it here. Buying a house is a big responsibility. And again, this conversation today has to do with getting more and more professional people in your transaction. And Nicole, there's nothing wrong with allowing 14 days to say, hey, look, I want to have a well and septic. I want a sewer inspection. Put all those in there.
Right.
You have to
Absolutely.
give yourself.
Absolutely.
So give yourself 10
Sewer
days.
inspection?
Sewer inspections
Yeah,
are very
yeah.
important. A sewer repair one is typically between $4,000 and $15,000. You better get a camera down there and check it out.
Right.
And again, most of our
But that
clients.
you have to get, I believe, a different company besides
Yeah.
the inspector
Oh,
to do, which is
Definitely.
correct. I'm right, right?
Yeah, you got to remember that's outside the standards. But I mean, I'd like to give a quick story on water in the basement. I was inspecting a house, and everything looked great. I was down there in the basement with the family, their friends, and all of a sudden it downpoured, and out from the wall, it was like just a stream of water. And it was the tiniest pinhole you'd ever see, and there was absolutely zero evidence that water had come in that basement. We just got lucky. We were there when it rained.
Wow.
It's luck. Home inspectors, it's like that taking a picture, a moment in time. That's all we're there. That's all we can see.
That's right. I mean, what happens 3 months later, you never
Right.
know.
No.
Right.
Again, and sometimes, I mean, is it wrong to go and knock on some doors in a neighborhood? I don't know. Maybe you need to do that. You really need to know the location you're buying. And those folks out on let's say the Royal Oak, the Warren area. I mean, how many homes was it last summer, the one before, where it was 50% or more of the homes, everyone got flooded. So, look, if you're buying in those neighborhoods, you need to find out who fixed what repairs were done, and then move forward and make some educated choices. Hey, we got some open lines. 248 539-9797. Always want to talk about refinancing now that mortgage rates are at 50-year lows again. Consolidate your debt. Do cash out refinances. Complete those home improvements. And I'll tell you, a lot of families need to get their foundations fixed. There's a lot of things that could be done. And now with the increased values, Alex, we're seeing more and more guys saying, hey, look, can we do a little bit of consolidation, maybe add my second mortgage together, free up some money so I can complete that home project?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the cool things that I've seen is a lot of the building on existing homes and the fill-in building. You see a lot of people, especially in that Woodward corridor, that Royal Oak, Berkeley, Birmingham, Ferndale, they're doing those big dormers. They're blowing off the type, making the bungalows with the full 2 stories. I think it's really cool to see that again, man. I mean, it seems like it was just yesterday that you're driving down the streets, 2008, 2009, 2010, and it was just like death, man. It just sucked. But I mean, even driving to work now, I mean, it's just construction, like everywhere, all the way.
New construction. All right, when we come back, we'll tell you how to get that approval letter and buy one of those houses. We'll be right back.
One Week Fantasy Football at DraftKings means every moment of every game could take you closer to a life-changing payday. Play when you want and pick a new team every time. Use code Detroit and play for free with your first deposit in Sunday's $1 Million Fantasy Contest. Only at DraftKings.com.
Hey folks, Jeff Rieger here. Ever think you could shop for a car from your coffee shop? Or the dog park? Or the stadium? Edmunds mobile app lets you shop for your perfect ride from wherever. Hit the Text This Dealer button, get your questions answered fast, and work out your deal with no pressure. Download the Edmunds mobile app today and start shopping.
Sample comes with a 90-day order. Copays and deductibles may apply.
People who use urinary catheters are smiling. They called and got a free catheter sample pack of the new virtually painless catheters from Medical Direct Club. Call now and you can get your free catheter sample pack. 1-800-900-0285. These new catheters hurt less. You've never used catheters like this before. You'll receive the discreet pocket catheter for private use when you're not at home. The self-lubricating catheter for less pain and no mess. Some patients say it doesn't hurt at all. And the new polished eyelet catheter with virtually pain-free technology. It may reduce pain and the chance of urinary tract infections. For women, you'll receive the SpeedyCath compact catheter. About the size of lipstick, it fits right in your purse. Call now for your free catheter sample pack and free shipping. It will arrive with a 90-day supply, all at little or no cost to you. We'll even bill Medicare and your insurance for you. And if you don't experience less pain, we'll pick them up for free. Call 1-800-900-0285. That's 1-800-900-0285.
Two Broke Girls 5 nights a week presents Max and Caroline's Top 5 Blue Plate Specials.
5, the number of ponies I got for my 5th birthday. 5, the number of cigarettes I smoked on my 5th birthday. 5, the number of billions my father stole in a Ponzi scheme. 5, the number of beers my mom drank for breakfast.
5, the number of nights you can watch Two Broke Girls every week. And since you're home, pants are optional. Like mine are now. Two Broke Girls.
Watch Two Broke Girls weeknights at 7:30 on CW50.
At Boar's Head, we follow a certain set of rules when it comes to smoking ham. Our most important rule, better smoke makes a better smoked ham. Take Boar's Head Smokemaster Black Forest ham. Naturally smoked with beechwood chips imported from Germany for a flavor that's rich, smooth, and utterly distinct. Smokemaster Black Forest ham. Only from Boar's Head. Compromise elsewhere.
Freed's where fashion feels so good.
I'm Ari Freed.
And I'm Dan Orman.
And we have 2 great reasons to revisit Freed's of Windsor.
That's right, Ari. First of all, your U.S. dollar is now worth around $1.35.
Right, Dan. And the second is our famous suit package, where you can buy a modern fit suit with shirt, tie, belt, socks, and even shoes, all for around $150 U.S.
So buy Freed's famous suit package online at Freeds.com, or we'll see you in the store.
Tomorrow, get up early and meet the 97.1 The Ticket Street team at Ford Field as we walk for a change for Autism Speaks. Right now, you can register, donate, and fundraise at walknowforautismspeaks.org. For more info, call 810-689-8426. On-site registration begins tomorrow morning at 8:30. It's also your chance to win Cedar Point tickets for Haunted Hollow Weekends at Cedar Point, when the creatures of the dark come out with 2 new terrifying ways to scream. Get your tickets at cedarpoint.com today.
Your master's degree in Detroit sports. 97.1 The Ticket.
It's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. Give us a call, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. I'm Harvey Free. That's Alex Nafusi from Capital Mortgage. Nicole Moscow, better known as Nicole Page now.
I know. I got to get everything changed.
We'll change everything. Remax Classic out in Milford. It's a great real estate office and good people. And Mike Sesmazar from Sesmazar Inspection.
Inspections.
It's awesome. Thanks for coming in from Ann Arbor.
You're welcome.
Also, you're a 22-year vet on the force?
27, actually.
27 years on the force in Ann Arbor.
Well, part of it there, part of it another place. Yeah, 27 years total.
All right. We got to behave ourselves in here when the police are around. Right? Alex and I are our best behavior. We don't do anything wrong, but just in case.
No, never.
Exactly.
Never.
It's crazy. Those crazy new mortgage rules I mentioned actually start today. And what it is they've broken down, they've got rid of the old truth in lending, better known as the truth and confusion form. And they combine that with another RESPA form. So hopefully it's going to help borrowers understand their terms a little bit better.
Absolutely, because that's the main thing. Every time we're at a closing table, they're so confused by the numbers. So hopefully this will give them a little clarity.
A little bit more clarity. And then also the closing disclosure form, which olden days, just to sum this up real quick, and we have open lines at 248-539-9797. To clear it up is when we get an approval and we set up a closing 2 days later, we can give the borrower their figures the day in between, a day before, and they're all set. That cannot exist anymore. Now they're giving, the new rules allow a borrower to review these documents up to 3 days. And I don't know what they're going to come up with. It's not rocket science, but at least an opportunity to sit back and review it and maybe ask a few questions and clear their mind. Obviously, what happened back in the housing debacle, 2006, 7, and 8, many of the families were basically using the excuses, I didn't understand, I was confused. So the government steps in and says, okay, let's try to help that. It makes sense. Yeah, look.
It makes sense, but every borrower is going to complain about this.
Well, again, it's going to hold up some closings.
It's going to hold it up, right?
It's not the end of the world. Look, if you've never lived in that house before, what's the difference if you don't move in or close for 2 more days? It shouldn't be that big a deal.
Well, because some people already have like their house where they have to move out.
So
move out.
Plan better.
They have all their stuff in a moving truck. I mean,
they need to plan better.
That's
what it's going to come down to. You need to plan better. Waiting 3 days, this is a good thing, guys. So people get their closing documents 3 days ahead of time now. You have to wait 3 days to close. Fine. That's not a bad thing. Plan better. If you're supposed to close Friday, don't schedule moving for Saturday.
I agree. No. I agree with that.
I mean,
but it depends how long past
this goes. This is not a difficult job. What we do every day is that difficult job. Mike, the police officer / inspector,
he has a difficult
job. That's a scary job.
Absolutely.
Waiting 3 days to close once you get your final numbers is not a bad thing.
I agree with you, but a lot of borrowers do not.
Well, they're going to get educated quickly.
I agree.
Yeah, but so you set the expectations ahead of time.
Absolutely, but I feel like sometimes they forget that in the end, like what you set prior to.
All right. Well, there's a lot of emotions that go involved in a transaction. You got to sort of hang in there.
Right.
Look,
try to make it as less stressful for them as possible.
That sounds like a good plan. Hey, how about these purchasers? How do they start things off? Well, one of the first starts is to make sure your credit's pretty groovy. And again, if you disputed accounts recently, you've got to clean up those disputes. There's many changes out there in the mortgage industry. And one of the things
we'll touch on
that a little bit. So the credit score is very important. And of course, cleaning up your credit report. Better credit will get you typically a better interest rate. And a lot of times there's errors or things that you've paid off in the past, collection accounts and such. Clean that up. In other words, if you're planning on buying a house this spring, truthfully, I think now is the time to start. Get ahead of the game, get your ducks in a row, and then you can go out there and find all these great houses. Who knows? Maybe you'll end up buying a house in March and April before those 2016 prices kick in. So
there's a lot of good deals out there right now with fall hitting.
I'm glad you brought that up because there's no doubt a lot of families have not sold their home yet. And as we had a couple other callers earlier in the show, some have already bought new constructions or in the middle of building a new house, and they got to sell that existing house. They're willing to negotiate. They're willing to put a nice transaction together.
Right, because you don't want to hold it throughout winter.
Yeah. Set your budget up too. That's pretty key too. Obviously handle your monthly payments, understand your debt to income ratio, get your ducks in a row. Right. If you have cash money underneath the bed and you've been putting it away thinking you're saving it. I had someone say that. I go, why didn't you save it in the bank? Well, I spend it if it's in the bank. Well, anyways, you've got to have funds.
You spend it if it's in the bank as opposed to underneath your bed?
The ATM machine. I've heard it all. But again, if you're getting a gift, find out who the gift owner is going to be. There's a lot of things that you can do ahead of time to prepare yourself to become a successful homeowner. Call Capital Mortgage. We'll show you the way. And we have open lines at 248 248-539-9797. Mike, just talk about home inspections a little bit. The lady that called earlier, obviously there are a lot of crawl spaces out there.
Correct.
I'm not going in a crawl space. I mean, I got to tell you, I don't know a lot of people out there that would go in their crawl space. I mean, they're animals. No one really goes in their crawl unless it's like a brand new house that was probably finished by, who knows, foundation systems or something, where it's really nice. And we do see some families that use them as storage areas and such for whatever reasons, different portions of crawls. But I mean, it's difficult to get down there. You don't know what's down there.
It's a pain. The standards do indicate that we're not required to actually go into the crawl space. However, we do our best. And a lot of times, all the areas are not accessible. You've got ductwork under there. You can't possibly get there. I've been in there on my belly before, shining the light to see as far as I can. We're doing our best. And the home inspectors, again, I know they all do their best.
Basically, if you find out that the house, and that's one of the questions a lot of the home inspectors ask, you call in, they're checking prices, and the questions you might ask is, does the house have a basement, a slab, is it on a crawl?
That's one of the questions. Right. I got to know. I got to know when I'm going to get dirty.
Exactly. And sometimes, who knows? Sometimes we've even heard where the crawl spaces aren't accessible because for one reason they might be locked or the access
Right.
door.
I've seen ductwork right at the entry point. You can't get through there. If you see any sign of moisture or water, you're not going in. That's not safe.
Right.
We have to stay safe.
Nicole, a couple things that came up recently too is the condos, the site condos, the rules of single-family residences. We talked about it earlier, is getting the master deed. But again, most families out there have to put a plan together, and that plan includes figuring out where you're going to maybe raise a family. Right. Is this going to work for you?
Better for you than a single-family home. Association fees, those are big with the condos. You really got to factor those in because I've seen a lot of people look at condos and then the fees, they're like, that's going to set us off our budget. Or the loan officer is like, that's going to set them off their budget. So we have to pre-plan these things before we actually go out and start looking at them.
You could be qualified for a $200,000 mortgage, but not necessarily if it's a $200,000 condominium with a $350 association fee.
Absolutely. And then, and then the depending of the financing, and then again, like the condos, depends on, can they get FHA in there? Can they get VA in there? Can they get only conventional? Is it only cash?
Great point.
There's so many variables with condos.
All right. Always good information here on the Hardcore Mortgage Show. Again, 248-539-9797. We always like to hear from you. A lot of fun things happening. Of course, this time of year, it's fall in Michigan.
Cider mill time.
The cider mill and donuts are happening. We got the college football. We got MSU's homecoming this afternoon. Alex, you are not going to their homecoming, are you?
No,
you'll watch it at home.
You're forgetting donuts.
Donuts, of course.
Of course, I said donuts.
I live next door to the cider mill.
Can I say, of course, my police officer friend says that?
That's
Mike, let me ask you a question, man. So for our first-time buyers out there, what do you think the number one thing is they should look out for when they're buying their first house from an inspection standpoint?
From an inspection standpoint on a first-time buyer, I just want to take the first-time buyer and walk them through the house. I just want to educate them. They need to understand how their house functions.
Right.
You just can't live in it for X amount of years and expect it to stay in the same condition. So when I walk them through, this needs to be the type of house that they can handle and that is in the condition
that's not
that they
too
can
high
handle.
of maintenance.
Because every client has a different level. People say, hey, does that home inspection pass or fail? There's really no pass or fail. It is, what can you accept? And I want to give them all that information and make sure they can accept what's in front of them.
A lot of homes are just in horrible condition. So there are loans out there that allow you to go ahead and fix it up. The FHA 203K loan.
Yes.
In other words, you can go out to a house and then realize that, and it could be a conventional buyer, and then realize that the roof doesn't have a lot of life left in it. We're typically looking for 3 to 5 years, but
Correct.
if you buy a house and it really only has 3 years of life left, you might need to repair a $7,000 to $10,000 roof in 3 years. And then other things about the property that can cost a little bit more money. So it's just very important to get that education behind you so you're making better decisions.
Right. I've got to say one thing. I've learned throughout my career as a home inspector, a lot of people are just blinded. All they're seeing is, I want this house. This is it. This is it. They're blinded by what I'm showing them.
Okay.
I've had that happen. People don't even listen sometimes.
Some of them don't even read the inspection report.
Yes, I had that on a heat exchanger.
Oh yeah, we get a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
So again, if
That's
you're
nice to hear, though. I mean, I didn't cut you up. I apologize
No, you're
about it. It's nice to hear, though, Mike, that that you walk clients through and buyers through, because I mean, my father showed me, like when I bought my first house, he's like, dude, you got to change,
air
the furnace, the furnace filter, and you got to, make sure the leaves are out of your gutters. It's nice to have somebody. I mean, you really do. I mean, it's fun to think like you're independent and you're buying your first house and you're all grown up. You do it yourself. You really can't, dude. I mean, if you've never owned a house, you
have to know the responsibilities that come with it.
Yeah, I mean, even
Absolutely.
as unhandy as I am, I mean, I just have a list of people to call now. But I mean,
Right.
but I know which people to call for which things.
And you know that you need to maintain it to keep its value.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I feel like we just got here and we're just starting off.
Can we do it again?
We'll do it again next Saturday. It's been another version of the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show. We are brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. We have people in the office all weekend long, so please call Capital 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. I know we got Pat Caputo coming up with sports, maybe Mr. Bogey too. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket.
The preceding was a paid program. Views expressed on this program are not necessarily those of CBS Radio, its sponsors, or affiliates.
Hi, Harry Glantz for Capital Mortgage Funding. Rates are at historic lows, so what are you waiting for? Call 1-800-LOW-RATE and let our award-winning staff help you save money. Look, if you're looking to purchase a new home, refinance your existing home, and you want to save money, call 1-800-LOW-RATE and take advantage of these historic low rates. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. What are you waiting for? Call 1-800-LOW-RATE. Capital Mortgage Funding is powered by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, NMLS ID number 2289, Equal Housing Lender.
We've been in business for 27 years.
Jeff Davison is part owner of Antonino Salon in Birmingham.
We're a small business, but we like to think like a big one. So providing health insurance for our employees is a must.
Jeff's agent recommended HAP at 844-DIAL-HAP.
Well, they were great. We have older and younger employees, and HAP tailored a plan that gave us all terrific coverage. Our employees are happy and healthy. You know, it's really nice to see smiling faces when they come to work.
Find out how HAP can help your small to mid-sized business.
Best of all, HAP takes care of everyone individually, so all I have to worry about is cutting hair.
844-DIAL-HAP. We'll figure things out together.
We could not be happier having Health Alliance Plan in our salon, and I feel I want to tell the whole world to go ahead and find your representative and talk to them. There's peace of mind knowing we're covered by an insurance company as strong as HAP.
Call 844-DIAL-HAP or visit myhapstories.com to get the complete story on Antonino Salon.
If this ticket were to give you a paper cut, you would be thankful. Many players refuse to scratch it purely out of respect. To honor it, party stores throw actual parties. It is the most ultimate game in the world. New Ultimate Millions from the Michigan Lottery with top instant prizes of $2 million, 25 chances to win, and over $70 million in total cash prizes. Play New Ultimate Millions from the Michigan Lottery.